Question one is just the examiner is just testing you to see if you understand the concept of brackets. So we're working number one right now. We'll write it back bigger here. Now, if it's 2/3 squared, what it basically says here is that every number inside here gets squared. It's literally as simple as that. So it's 2 squared divided by 3 squared. Both values get what? Squared. So 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. Real simple question here, right? So it's 4/9. The answer is D. No, like I said, right? It's not just about doing the questions. It's about making the questions or altering some questions and make it a little bit harder. So it seems that when you have a divide, because a fraction is really a divide, this is really 2 divided by 3, right? The squared belongs to everybody. Do you all think the same concept would apply if it was a multiply? Like, let's say it was k multiplied by 3 squared, right? I just saying if. Let me say we have a question like this. Would it be okay? I know there are 2 ways to work this question, right? You can multiply 4 multiplied by 3, and whatever you get, then square it. But tell me something. Is it okay to write this particular question like this? 4 squared multiplied by 3 squared. In other words, I'm asking, does the squared belong in everybody here? If it's a multiply, and we just learned that it's okay to apply the squared when it's a divide. Would it be okay to use the same technique for multiply? Right? The answer is yes. It also works for multiply. So 4 squared is 16 and 3 squared is 9. So you could say what? 16 by 9, right? And you'll get 144. If you would have done it the other way, 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. And if you square it after, 12 squared is still 144. So we just saw for division and for multiplication, it works. All right, so next question now. If I have 2 plus 3 squared, is it okay to use the same technique? Is it okay to say 2 squared plus 3 squared? In other words, the power gets applied to both of them. Is that okay in maths? Let me know. And before you answer, think it through. Just don't say, I'm going to guess yes or no. Think it through and then send an answer. The answer is no. I can prove that this doesn't work in maths. It works for division, it works for multiplication, but it doesn't work for addition or subtraction. And I can prove it. 2 plus 3 is what? 6, right? Nope. Oh, she was not talking. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 squared is 25, right? So 2 plus 3 is 5. And if we square that answer, we get 25. Would we get the same answer if we do it the other way? 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 9. 4 plus 9 is 15. It's not 25. Okay? So it's not okay to use this rule where you have a power outside the brackets. It's not okay to apply the power to everyone inside the brackets if it's addition or subtraction. It only works for multiplication and division. So remember that for your exams, okay? Because the examiner could try to trick you using that piece of theory. So let's go to number 2. Now, number 2, that's a primary school question. What percentage of 340 is 425? Okay, what was the answer most people sent for number 2? All right. I think most people got this one wrong, you know, right? You see, it's most people put the 340 over the 425 and multiply by 100. But they try to trick you. What percentage of 340 is 425? Which one has to go on top? It's the 425. This is not normally seen, right? You're accustomed to seeing a larger number underneath all the time. But it's possible to have a percentage of more than 100%. So it's 425 over this multiplied by 100, right? And the answer would be what now? C. All right, so I hope everyone didn't well, who got it wrong? I hope you got it correct now. You understand it. Great. So let's see what's going on with the other question. Number 6. And there are two ways to do this, right? I'm going to use the cross for this. To me, this is the easiest way to do this question for number 6. Yeah, let's go to the cross. You're dealing with two things here: pupils and teachers. Right. So the ratio of pupils to teachers is 20 to 1, right? So the 20 is for the pupils. So pupils is 20 and teachers is 1. The number of pupils is 840. So you put the 840 underneath here, and then you're trying to figure out how much teachers it have. We just cross multiply. 20 by x is 20x, and 840 by 1 is 840. The 20s are multiplied, throw them across here, get the divide. Let's divide that quickly. 840 divided by 20 is 42. The answer would have been B. Number 7. I think we did this question last week. This is a repeat question, right? If I'm not mistaken. No one is supposed to get this wrong. The largest prime number is 97, because only 1 and 97 can go into 97. There are no other numbers. And the HCF, a primary school question. Well, what was the answer for? They didn't ask for LCM. Eh? A lot of people mistake this for LCM. The highest common factor is 3. 3 could go into 12 without a remainder. 3 could go into 15 without a remainder. And 3 could go into 60 without a remainder. Right? All right, so let's move on. Let's hopefully we can find some harder questions. All right, so which question? Oh, we got plenty to fit here. So good luck, guys. All right. 3, 4, 5 could fit, 9, 10, and 11. Usually in the exam, you have about 1 minute roughly to do a question. So yeah, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, not 6 minutes. Number 3, you could use the cross again, right? So for number 3, let's draw a little cross like this, right? The cross is real useful for ratios, anything involving ratios. It's 2 people involved, Anne and Betty. It's 2 to 3, so the 2 belongs to Anne and the 3 belongs to Betty. Anne receives 120. So what is Betty's share? Cross multiply. 2 by x is 2x. 3 by 120 is 360. Throw across and multiply, you will get a divide. 360 divided by 2 is 180. So the answer would be C. Right? Well, there are more than one ways to do it, right? I'm sticking with the cross because, you know, this is the method that I showed everyone, especially in the Monday class. So if number 4, you can also use the cross. So let's see how we can use the cross for number 4. So number 4, right? you're dealing with two things, percentage and money. They came and said 12.5%, which is the same thing as 12.5, right? Represents how much money? 40. They said that at the beginning of the question. And now they want to know how much money it had in total. The total amount of money is 100%. Now, they never said that, but it's implied in maths. The total or the original amount is always 100%. So how much does 100% represent in money? You put the X by the money. Cross multiply, solve for X as usual. 12.5 by X is just 12.5X. 40 by 100 is 4,000. Throw across the multiply, you're going to get what? A divide. That's not 4,000 divided by 12.5. It's 320. So number 4 is B. Now number 5 is super easy, right? It is asking to approximate the value. 29.94 is almost 30. And 0.5, well, it's the same thing as a half. How much is a half of 30? The answer is clearly what? C. Not too sure why that question is so easy, but let's not complain. Right, so number 6, the troublemaker in these questions here. The distributive law, it's basically about putting things in brackets. It's like expanding brackets or even factorization. The two are tied in. If I had A, B plus A4, I just say, and we could, how you say, factorize A. Everyone should be able to factorize now. Because this A is being multiplied by the B, and this A is being multiplied by the 4. So you could pull out A, and if you pull out A, you'll be left with B plus A. Basic factorization. Let's apply the same concept to over here. Now, you notice I did not write the multiply between the A and the B, and I didn't write the multiply between the A and the 4. Now, don't get me wrong, I could write it, but most people just tend to leave it out. So if I have 49 multiplied by 17, let me space it out, plus 49 multiplied by 3. You'll notice it's the same exact situation here. And we can factorize out the 49 because both of them have a 49. So you pull out the 49 and you're left with 17 plus 3. 17 plus 3 is how much? And we can simplify those brackets here. That's 20. And there's what in between here and here, multiply. What's the obvious answer? D. 49 multiplied by 20, not add 20, multiply by 20. Number 10. Oh, it's a primary school question. He's clearly the hundreds, so let's not waste time on that one. Equivalent in sets, right? Is the first one has how much items? 1 element, we call them elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're literally asking you which other one has 4 elements. Won't that be C? PQRS, that's 4 elements. Super easy stuff there. Let's move on. Let's see how much we can get to fit here. Number 12 could fit 15, 15, 16. There's a little piece missing here. Let's slide this in. All right, I think we got it to fit there, right? So we got 12, 13. Well, this one here is 15. I know you can't see the number, but I'll put 15. Let's make sure. Yeah, that would be 15, 16, and 17. Good luck and send your answers across. Now, look at number 12, right? You will notice that if I'm circling the whole P circle, is anybody inside the P circle shaded? No. If you look at it, everything but the P circle is shaded. Everything outside the P circle, but everyone inside that P circle is untouched. So the answer has to be A. This is prime, right? I'm gonna write it a little bit better here. P with a dash means everybody but P. It's the opposite of P. Number 13. Right, so let me draw number 13 for everyone. Right, this is a common one a lot of people get wrong, right? So I'll draw a blue circle here, we'll call it X. And I'll draw a red circle. And we'll call the red circle Y. So apparently, the number of people in X is 7. Where does that 7 belong? Does that 7 belong inside the blue circle, which is X? Or does it belong outside the blue circle, inside or outside? If they say number of elements in X is 7, and they just say it like that, no other grammar used. Inside the blue or outside the blue? It's actually outside. I know a lot of people are visualizing it inside. You see, when they state it like this, they're talking about the whole blue circle. So everyone inside the blue circle is 7. Right. Now, they did almost a similar thing for Y. They said the number of elements in Y is 5. Well, the number of items is 5. So that 5 goes on the outside because it belongs to the whole red circle. Now, they said, well, this is X intersect Y. That's the easiest one. That's over here. Now, tell me something. If this whole blue circle is 7, and this piece is 3, won't this piece here be 4? 7 minus 3? And if this whole circle is 5, and this portion is 3, then the remaining part is 2. I just take 5 and minus 3. Now the question asks us for X union. This is union Y. If you combine everybody in X and Y, how much will you get? It's the inside numbers you have to add up. 4 plus 3 plus 2. Everybody within X and Y is 4 plus 3 plus 2, which is 9. The answer would be B. So 13 is B. Number 15. I don't have to stress again. What you're going to use for this one? I don't want to spend too much time on this. You're just going to use the cross, right? You have TT dollars and you have what? US dollars. They said 1 US is equivalent to 6 TT. You're walking with 15 TT. How much US is that? So you just have to do what? Cross multiply, right? I'm just doing the working. Let me do the working down here. 6 by X is 6X. 15 by 1 is 15. 6 is a multiply. Throw it across, you get a divide. 15 divided by 6 is 2.5 or $2.50. See. Easy stuff. All right, now a lot of answers are still outstanding for number 16 and 17. So here, take 1 more minute for 16 and 17, and let's see if we get some more people to send answers for number 16 and 17. So, oh Lord. Number 16 is, I don't know why it's so easy. You're just gonna find 25% of this, right? Now, there are 2 ways we could do it, right? We could find, put 25 over 100 and multiply it by this. But isn't 25% the same thing as a quarter? So they're asking us to find a quarter of that value, right? So 15,200 divided by 4 is 3,800. Number 17, it have two ways to do this. You could find 5% of 10,000 and minus it, or you could do it a slightly faster way, which I remember showing everyone in the Monday class, right? You have percentage and you have how much it's worth. So at the beginning of the question, the car was worth $10,000. So that's 100%, right? The original value, you always equate it to 100%. Now, if it went down by 5%, 1 year passed, right? If it lost 5% of its value, then it's now worth 95% because it lost 5%. And all you have to do is cross multiply, and you will get the same answer as if you found 5% of the 10,000 and minus that answer from the 10,000. Right? But there are more than one ways to do a math question. Right? So you got 100x here. This could be 95 with 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw across the multiply, you get a divide. 2, 2. The answer would be B. Simple stuff. Right, so let's move on. This number, this else, make sure we get all the values. Right, so we get 14, 18, and 19 to fit. So let's list out the factors of 6, right? So for P, what would be the factors of 6? 1 could go into 6, 2, 3, and 6. What are the factors of Q? Right? Would you ready to ask, what are the factors of 4? 1 could go into 4, 2 could go in, and 4 could go into 4. What's common between the two? And both of them share a 1 and share 2. So 1 and 2 would live in the common region, the intersection region. So the answer for that one is B. Number 18, they're just asking for how much is 20% of 60. All right. So it's 20% of 60. This will cancel, this will cancel, this will cancel. The answer is 12. 2 by 6 is 12. The answer is A. Number 19, right? And this kind of tricky, not too tricky. It deals with two things, percentage and money. When the person got a discount of 30%, the discount was 30%, that 30% discount represented $42. They're asking you to backtrack now to figure out the original price, the price before the discount was applied. The original price is always 100%. How much money does that represent? It's a cross multiplication question. 30 by x is 30x. 42 by 100 is 4,200. Draw across the multiply, you're going to get a divide. Let's see what we get here. 4,200 divided by 30, $140. The answer would have been C. A lot of people got this one wrong. Right? All right, so let's move on to the next set of questions. Second, let's line it up here. How much we can get to fit? Well, we can only get 20, 21, 25, and 26 because the rest of them, the answer is missing. So simple interest, right? Number interest is principal by rate by time over 100. This is going to boil down to a cross multiplication question. Remember, interest is the same thing as interest on 1. The simple interest on $800 for 3 years is 54. All right, so that means the interest itself is $54, right? Well, actually, we won't even need to cross multiply, but let's see what's going to happen here. The principal is 800. The rate we don't know, and the time is what? 3 years. And we have to divide it by 100. Now we could cross multiply, don't get me wrong. But and this 2 zeros will cancel out with these 2 zeros here, getting rid of the denominator, right? So 54 is equal to 8 by R by 3. 8 by 3 is 24, by R is 24R. Just throw across the multiply because we're solving for R. You're going to get what? A divide. 54 divided by 24 is 2.25 or 2 1/4, which is B. Number 21 is a primary school question, right? The person bought 2 books and the total price is 46. So let's try to figure out the cost of each book. 46 divided by 2 is 23. So each book cost $23 and they got $3 discount, which made the price 23. So what was the original price? You just have to add back 3, right? That would be 26. Number 25. Oh, this is just to expand the brackets and solve for x. Let me write it here. 2x minus 1 is equal to 35. Let's get rid of those brackets. 5 by 2x is 10x. 5 by 1 is 5 is equal to 35. Minus 5, throw it across, you get positive 5. 10x is equal to 40. Throw across the multiply, you get a divide. No, this is easy, it's 4. X is positive 4. D. Let me write back this question a little bit bigger here, right? So you have 3x squared multiplied by 2x to the power 3. I believe this is my exact copy of a question we did 2 weeks ago. We multiply these two first. 3 by 2 is 6. And then x squared multiplied by x cubed. The bases are the same and multiply. When you see a multiply, that means to not multiply the powers, but add the powers. 2 plus 3 is 5. The answer is A. Right. So let me just scroll down and I think some people worked out 22 and 27 already, but I know not everybody will have tried it. Right. That's not right. So how much we got to fit here? 22, 23, 27, and 28. Number 22, right? Interest is what? Principal by rate by time. So it's principal, which is 7,000. The rate is 5 over 100. 2 zeros, 2 zeros. So it's 70 by 5 by 3. 1050 is the answer. Number 23, I think the answer is obvious for this one. It has 7 times the product of 2 numbers, A and B. Well, product and times, that's all. And times is the same thing, right? Product and times and whatnot means multiply. Hold on. Why so many people saying B for the answer? I'm sorry, not B for the answer, D for the answer. And the answer is supposed to be A, guys? Everyone agrees with me? For those who got it wrong, I think the answer have to be A. That just means 7 by A by B. That's all it means. All right, great. So number 27, oh Lord, they're just asking you to replace X with 4 and Y with 2. All right. replace this x with 4, so it's 4 squared plus 3. Replace this y with 2. And then it's x multiplied by y, 4 by 2. Work out the top, work out the underneath, divide. 4 squared is 16. 3 by 2 is 6. 16 plus 6, for some reason, I cannot add that in my head, but you'll get 22 and 8 underneath. They obviously want you to simplify this. Divide the top and underneath by 2. You're going to get 11 divided by 4. 11 divided by 4 is 2 3/4. Number 28, I think that's a simultaneous equation in disguise. Number 28. Well, what they're saying is that you have two values, P and Q. The sum, if you add P and Q, we're going to get 32. And if you subtract P and Q, you're going to get 12. So we're going to solve for P and Q, and we're going to get two values. They're asking us for the smaller value. Right now, I don't know if P is going to be smaller or Q is going to be smaller right now. But let's do some substitution here. Actually, instead of doing that, and we could use the elimination method here, because both of them have P, exactly P on top and Q underneath, right? So we could subtract the top from the underneath. So we could use elimination here. P minus P is 0. We don't need to write anything here. Q minus Q. So you see our two minus signs meeting there. Q minus Q. So Q plus Q is 2Q. 32 minus 12 is 20. We can solve for Q, throw across and multiply, you get a divide. So Q is 10. We just need to solve for P now. We go to any one of these equations. Like if we know Q is 10, when you throw across positive 10, you will get minus 10. So P is how much? 12. So what's the smaller number here? A, which is 10. Right? It was just a simultaneous equation. But let me just do this part back here. You see, when we got the first answer for Q and we realized that Q was 10, to find the value, oh, sorry, 22. Sorry. 32 minus 10. Oh, Lord. Sorry. I did something wrong there. 32 minus 10 is 22. Sorry. I minus it wrong in my head now. 32. I said 32 minus 10 is 12. That's clearly wrong. 32 minus 10 is 22. Right? But let me just work it back fully here. But once we get the value of Q to be 10, we run back to any equation. I'm going to run back to the first equation. The first, oh yeah, sorry guys, I mean, that's not, let me work it out. I just tying up myself, right? So P plus Q is equal to 32, right? We just realized Q is 10, so I'll replace the Q with 10. Throw across positive 10, you'll get minus 10. So P is 22. All right, so guys, I made two mistakes. I apologize, right? Let's make it sure here. Right. Remember, 12 is not one of the answers, and guys, remember the two answers, Q is 10 and P is 22. Everybody with me so far? But when we solve the simultaneous equations, well, properly now, we're getting Q as 10 and P as 22. They're asking us what is the smaller number. The smaller of these two numbers is the 10. The answer would be we all in agreement now? But when I worked out 12, I did it wrong. I think some of you all didn't realize I did it wrong. The two answers are Q and P, which are 10 and 22. And I think it works out now, right? If we go back to the equations here. If P is 22 22 plus 10 is 32. And if P is 22, 22 minus 10 is 12. So it actually works out. Everybody's silent here. Everybody in agreement here, the answer is A. All right, so great, cool. Let's move on. Oh, well, it's only number 24 to look. Let me just zoom in on 24 here. Right. Oops, something's wrong. Right, so number 24 there. It kind of follows the concept of an equation. Whatever you do to one side, just make sure and do it to everyone else on the other side. So the same concept holds here. If we divide the middle by 2, not a problem. We just have to make sure and divide everyone else by 2. So you get 2, the 2 and the 2 will cancel out here. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the answer is E. Right, so let's move on. No, 28. What can we get to fit here? We can only get 3 to fit. 29, 30, and 33. Good luck. Now, number 29 and 30, let's not waste too much time on this one. Number 29 is clearly A, right? The volume of a cube is just side by side by side. So it's 10 by 10 by 10, which is 1,000, not 300, and guys. Few people said 300 by mistake. I know it's just tiredness. And the area of a sector, right, is pi multiplied by radius squared multiplied by the angle divided by 360. So, and I believe they give you this formula in the formula sheets there. So, but no harm in trying to remember it, right? So it's pi. They did not give you the radius. The angle is 60, and you divide it by 360. They gave you the angle over here. 60 into 60 is 1, 60 into 360 is 6. So, well, if you're dividing something by 6, that's the same thing as 1/6. So it's 1/6 pi r squared. A is the answer. I know A and B look almost the same, but A has the squared part. B is missing the squared part, right? Let's move down. To the 1, to the 2, yep, and to the 4 could fit. This question here, number 34, is a repeat of last week's question. Multiple question, choice questions do repeat quite a lot. Number 31, you could use like cross multiplication. If you have 3 plus 2 over x, but you could use cross multiplication, but it's a kind of easier way to reason this out. Remember, we're trying to solve for x. So we throw across positive 3, and we're going to get minus 3, right? Now, 1 minus 3 is minus 2. Now, you could just simply ask yourself, 2 divided by what would give you minus 2? The only obvious answer is minus 1, right? 2 divided by minus 1. Remember, when you divide a positive by a negative, you'll get back a negative. And 2 divided by 1 is 2. So the only obvious answer here would be E. Now, you could go ahead and cross multiply and solve for x, but you're wasting time at that point. Number 32, it have 1,000 kilograms in a ton. In number 34, they said this was a square. So if this is 5, then here's 5, and then here's 5. The area of a square is side by side. So 5 by 5 is 25 cm cubed. And the area of the triangle is base by height divided by 2. Base by height divided by 2, you're going to get 10. To get the total area, you add both of them. 10 plus 25 is 55. Right? And I'm going to spend too much time on that one as we did that question already. Oh, number 35. Yes, we got number 35. So 35, 38, and 39. Trapezium. Number 35, the area of a trapezium, it's upper T for trapezium here, right up a little A here, is the sum of the, well, it's really a half multiplied by the sum of the parallel sides multiplied by the vertical height, right? So the answer is D, right? Because the two parallel sides are 4 and 5. So you're adding 4 and 5, and the vertical height, not the slanted height, the vertical height is 2. Right? So it has to be D. Now, number 38, right? Now, I know a lot of people don't know how to read a 24-hour clock. But you see, anytime the value is more than 12, like it's 13 o'clock or 14 o'clock, or all you have to do is minus 12, and it will give you the time in the evening. So if it's 22:15, if you're minus 12 from the 22, right? That's minus 12, right? You're going to get what? 10. So it's 10:15 in the, well, in nighttime. So imagine this is you waiting on somebody. Somebody tell you to meet them at 10:15 in the night, 10:15 p.m. And they meet you 4 o'clock in the morning. How much hours is that? It already takes, to take you to 11 o'clock, is 3/4 of an hour, 45 minutes, right? So after 3/4 of an hour, it's 11 o'clock. Start counting. 12 o'clock. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 hours plus the 3/4 hours. Well, let's make sure I have that correct. That's all right. No, sorry. I made it's 5. It's 5. Sorry. You're right. Because it's no. Yeah, that's all. It's 11 o'clock, then 12, 1. Yeah, it's 5. It's 5. Sorry, my mistake, guys. My mistake. It's 5. I know what I did wrong there. 38 is B. Number 39. Well, this is a primary. This is literally an SEA question. Number 34. So if you have a square and the perimeter is 48, then you divide it by 4. So that means each side is what? 12, right? The area is side by side, 12 by 12, which is 144. Let's see what's going on with number 40 here. Well, we get a few more to fit here. Right? 36, 37, 40, and 41. Right, we'll finish these 4 questions and call it a night. That's it. Number 36. Distance is speed by time. A car travels 80, right? Yeah, no problem, Alia. No problem at all. All right. So distance is 80. They want us to find the speed, and they gave us the time, which is 2.5 or 2.5. They just want us to find the speed, so we just draw across the multiply to get a divide. 80 divided by 2.5, got a nice answer, 32. The answer would be C. Anybody confused by number 37? I always, this is a question I like. It comes all the time, and it's a brain teaser. Oh, sorry. I'm getting tired. It's just like everybody here, everyone tired. Oh, it's B. So let's use some simpler numbers, right? let's say we have a rectangle. Let's call our own values. Let's say the length is 4 and the width is 2. How much is the area? Well, the area will be 4 by 2, which is 8, right? That would be the area. Put A for area, 4 by 2. Let's see what happens if we change the values to what they said. If the length is multiplied by 4, all right? So the length is 4, we make it 4 times longer. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. And the width is halved. So the width now is 2. If we halve that, we'll get 1. What will be the new area? 16, right? What happened to the area? Did the area get 3 times larger, 2 times larger, 6 times larger? It got 2 times larger, right? Because 16 is twice of 8. So you kind of see a relationship there. So whenever you do these things to the length, any time you make the length 4 times longer and the width half, the area, the current or present area gets twice as large. So they're just asking you to multiply this by 2, which will be obviously how much? 107. Right? So you can use simpler values to kind of deduce or find a relationship of how the area would be affected. Right. So number 40. This is just a simple minusing question. They're just really asking you to minus these two values. Because how you just get the range? To get the range, you take the highest and you minus the lowest. Here they already gave you the range. So to backtrack to get the lowest, you just minus the two values. So if you have 105 and you minus 27.5, we're going to get C. Right. Number 41. The model score is the most popular score. Well, what's the most popular number there? From just looking at it, I think I have two close ones here. The trees look pretty popular. How much 8s it have? Nah, it's 3. It have 3 trees. The mode is the most popular score. 8. All right. All right. So I'm guessing this is the last multiple choice class. But for those who have exams, am I